back to the GSL Code A with Moletrap and Wolf.
Welcome back.
We just saw Curious 2-0 the STC. The mystery of the Ultralisk was solved. I knew it was probably a building placement thing, but I couldn't find it. It was in between his macro hatchery and his natural. The Ultralisks were trapped inside of their eggs at that location because the queen was blocking them in between the hatcheries, so they just couldn't hatch. So the mystery has been solved. I mean, it was pretty obvious that was what was going on. I just couldn't find the building placement that it was locked in because it usually happens with Zerg. But
we both figured that was probably the case. But we did track it down in the replay. Kind of interesting to know that. So make notes. If you put your macro hatchery next to another hatchery that close, make sure there's a little bit of room so that things can hatch. Make sure that there's no other units or buildings blocking the spawn location.
But let's move on and talk about, well, this is actually supposed to be Seed, not the STC, but it's going to be the Seed against Curious. And obviously Seed is new here, coming up from Code B. And Leenock has obviously been in the GSL forever and ever and ever. He's a very strong player. Definitely the favorite here.
Yeah.
And I think the first map is pretty important. Our first map is Entombed Valley. The second map is Crossfire. So if he loses the first map, the second map is going to be pretty tough. Historically speaking, Zergs have not liked Entombed Valley against Protoss, so that's going to be pretty comfortable for Seed. Now, Leenock's going to have to, if he wins this one, he's going to feel pretty comfortable because the second match is going to be on Crossfire. And Protosses do not do well in Crossfire unless something weird happens. We've seen a few failed all-ins on that map. Sometimes Protosses win, like, for example, Aces games recently. But it's a tough map for Protosses. That's why it's being removed from the pool.
Yeah. No, that's definitely true. Definitely something to take note of. Before we get into this game, though, actually, never mind, I don't even have time because we're about to get into the game. The countdown has begun. The countdown has ended. The game is loading. Leenock versus Seed. Who is going to grasp Code S? Will Leenock get back in for another attempt at a championship? Or will Seed make his first run? We're going to find out right now. Thanks again, Hot 6, for sponsoring the GSL Code A and Code S. Up here at the top left of the map, one of the things I wanted to say before the game started is that this guy is he's a really friendly kid.
Yeah, he is.
He is.
I am Seed.
Like, I'd never even really met him before, and I went over to talk to the IM coach during the team league the other day, just say hi and see who was playing first, and Seed was standing nearby, and he just smiled at me and waved and said hi, even though I'd never even met him before. It was cute. Anyway, down here at the bottom left is someone who, actually, Kid is even more apt to describe.
FXO Leenock.
Leenock, very, very young player, despite his accomplishments.
One thing I want to say before this game continues is we have something really weird going on in this game. We have a Korean Protoss who's not OGS Vines, not Forge Fast expanding, especially, and not even on a map with 2 ramps. It's absurd, man. He made a gateway. I saw it. It's real.
Interesting. Yeah, we got it over here on the observer screen.
Something else I wanted to say about Seed, I actually got this information earlier today. His Korean name is Ansang-won. Now, that's very close to the Korean word Hwansang-won, which actually means like an illusion or fantasy. So they call him basically the illusion Protoss because of his name and also because of his usage of hallucination. So it's cool to see the Koreans have also really picked up on his hallucination uses as the foreigners have, and they call him basically the illusion Protoss.
That's
illusion
really
toss.
cool.
So because his name is so close to that word, they call him that in Korea. So I just wanted to give you guys that little insight that I got this morning.
That's pretty cool.
He's really well known for his mind games in Korea as well as the foreign scene.
Yeah. Well, the other thing I wanted to mention is something that someone tweeted at us actually and let us know about, which was we had forgotten. And you can, if you want to, tweet at us at Moletrap and at ProxyWolf, by the way. We do enjoy hearing stuff, and if we forget stuff like this, it's good to let us know. But the STC was actually abroad this last weekend also, so
yeah,
I do want to throw that out there that he could have been tired in his games as well, and that may have resulted in some of some of the decision making he was doing.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely had a weird first game there. The second game was much better for him, but you could definitely see a little bit of fatigue in his play. And this is something we forgot to mention. Now, Seed has actually taken 2 gases. He's getting a sentry out. Has not added any additional gateways. He may just be doing a 1 gateway expand here. He is chrono boosting his warp gate research uncharacteristically more than most processes would with this type of build. And Leenock, of course, speed is almost done. His hatchery's there. There are the additional gateways.
Interesting.
So he will be doing a 3 gateway expand. Very uncharacteristic of Korean players. Korean players do not like this build. They do not find it to be the best build. And if you ask a Korean how they PvZ, they will tell you forge fast expand every time. And this is really interesting to see a Korean using a foreigner build, basically.
This is... I kind of feel like he has something specific planned here. Like, he's got something in mind. Whether it's going to be something straightforward that he's just planned out really well and mapped out, or if it's something that he's going to change up text or something like that. Because look, he's got his sentries in the back. He's got pylons all around his base, so he knows if any overlords are going to come in. He is really dedicated to making sure his main base doesn't get scouted for whatever reason. So we haven't quite seen yet. This looks like a normal 3-gate expand, but I wouldn't be surprised if he does something tricky.
Yeah, nor would I. He got that warp gate research very quickly. It lines up in time with his additional gateways being finished. There is a Roach Warren going down for Leenock, actually, back at home. I'm curious if we're going to see Hallucination here pretty soon. He's, of course, having to warp in a few more sentries to securely take his natural before he has the gas to do that. But you don't necessarily see as much Chrono Boost on Warp Gate as we saw from Seed here. Usually you see the Chrono Boost on the actual sentries. Now, double Spores going down actually for Leenock right now as a precaution, because this does kind of look like a DT build. And yeah, there's the Hallucination.
Yeah.
I think part of the reason why he got that Warp Gate out so fast so he could also get this for scouting.
Dude, he could totally trick Leenock by hallucinating some DTs, sending him in.
If only hallucinated DTs were real.
Oh, wait. Hallucinated DTs can be seen without vision. Anyway, but yeah, and that's partly because Leenock was not able to get any scouting in. He was blocking the Zergling scouts, he was blocking the Overlord scouts, and so Leenock has to be a little bit cautious because he really has no idea what's going on in Seed's main base right now.
He also hit his sentry count, so there was no way for Leenock to know. It looked like a DT expand for Leenock. That's why he made the Spores. He started the Spores right before Seed showed his sentry, so he was like, I guess, well, I have Spores. But the Spores will become useful later, perhaps.
They're handy precaution.
Now the Natural is done, the Forge is done, and Seed comes in for a Scout. We'll see the lair timing. Nothing else, though, so he doesn't know if the Roaches are going to be committed to or not just yet. Double gassing at the Natural here. No Forge upgrade started. Double Stargate. This is a weird timing for this. It's not going to be something Leenock expects.
What does it mean? Yeah, and this is not going to be something he expects, especially, well, we'll see how he plays it, but I wouldn't be surprised if Seed makes maybe a couple Void Rays, maybe a few Void Rays, but only shows the first one so that he thinks it's single Stargate pressure, or maybe doesn't even show any of them for a while.
What if in Seed-like fashion he shows some Immortals?
I was going to say the thing that you're right. He's probably going to show Robotech with hallucinations.
That is something Seed is known for. He could show some Immortals. Now, because Seed is so known for this, though, will Leenock believe him? The key about Seed's play, when he shows things with hallucination, he never allows them to engage or be engaged.
Yeah.
So that may be something. He's hallucinating some more Phoenixes now for additional scouting. Double Void Rays are in production here. There is an Infestation Pit on the way for Leenock, though. That's going to help him out quite significantly against these Void Rays.
Yeah, he needs something to deal with these Void Rays. That is crucial. And the Infestation Pit's going to help out greatly. But unless he scouts this, I think he's going to need some extra Queens or something. I don't know. It's going to be tough if he only makes a couple Infestors. Wow. Seed is just... He's got the sentry count that he can just constantly make...
Phoenixes.
Oh, wow. He just chrono boosted empty Stargates, I think.
Yeah, he started it right after, though. That Pylon was finishing, I think. But
okay, there we go.
I think... I thought, you know, he was going to fake something here, but he's just not going to do it. Maybe the fake is too obvious, even. Normally what Seed does is he moves a unit into vision on purpose and then retreats with it. He's now queued up Phoenixes behind this. The supply right now in Seed's favor as a macro hatch for Leenock and his third base are coming up. I feel like Leenock is playing so defensive and so scared this game.
Well, I mean, what he might do is show the hallucination when he moves out. But look at that. 4 Void Rays with, like you said, Phoenix is rallied. And is he going to move out with his ground army at the same time? I think he should.
There's a scary moment with the Infestors. Will he pick up the Infestors with the Phoenixes and go for the kill? He's going to show the Voids now.
Is he going to... Well, never mind. There's no chance he's going to think they're hallucinated Void Rays. They're going to charge up a little bit here. There's a Spore, but it's out of position. These Void Rays are very, very dangerous.
They are indeed. The Infestors are out with energy upgrades, though, so he has to be careful. Knows he's splitting his Void Rays.
Yeah, because he sees the Infestors. Very good. Doesn't want to get them fungled. He's going to charge those up on some of the buildings. But there's enough Queens here. I think he's going to be okay with the Infestors to back them up.
Yeah, he kills one Extractor and a drone making a Spore and gets out. But the Void Rays remain alive. They're going to be a tough challenge. He's forced more Spores. Colossus Tech is on the way. Robotic Support Bay is a third of the way done. His +1 finishes here. Now he's got the ability to take a third base.
Yeah, and that's what he should do right now is take a third because he's shown the Void Rays. He's seen that he can't break it, but there's also no way that Leenock can move out on the map right now. With just a few Infestors, there's no way he can actually kill those Void Rays in open battle with the ground army alongside as well with the Phoenixes. So basically Seed is immune to attacks for a short time, and that's a good point to take a third. He's also switching to Colossus Tech in anticipation of the tech switch to respond to the Void Rays. So very standard but very smart play.
Here's the scary production thing. The scariest part of the production tab right now is the Hive is on the way. Will he go for 3 base Broodlords? I don't think so, especially not against that many Void Rays, but if it catches Seed by surprise, if he loses his Phoenixes and or Void Rays to a fungal here or there, and has to deal with the Broodlords, right now his Stalker count is actually at 4 Stalkers. He's got a lot of Zealots in his composition, and here we go.
And the fungal catches 3 of them.
Yeah, the beginning of the end of the Phoenixes.
Oh, he almost let him go. But it looks
surprised he didn't use any Infested Terrans there. Well, okay.
Well, the Queen was there, but actually Seed just kind of was like, oh, well, those things are dead. I'm not going to micro them. He could have saved them, but he didn't.
Well, the first Colossus is out. The second one is on its way. He's getting +1 armor instead of +2 weapons because he does not have a Twilight Council, so he skipped it entirely with this build. 18 Roaches on the way as a Spire nears completion, so he's not going to be able to have quick Broodlords just yet. But what he is getting from that Hive Tech is +3 for Roaches, Hydras, Queens.
That's gonna be pretty good.
Especially considering his opponent's going to be at 1-1 when this happens. I mean, it's not going to be an ideal situation.
Yeah,
Roach Burrow movement.
At some point, he's going to be at 3-1. Those Roaches, which is going to be really effective. Oh, nice! Force Fields is going to trap those Roaches and keep the Infestors at bay. But no, he's able to fungal the Sentries regardless.
The Sentries do escape, though, and the Colossus takes out a lot of Infestors. This attack by Leenock actually completely shut down. He's going to lose all of his Infestors by the looks of things. These Roaches being caught as well. Some good fungals, but it's just not enough.
He doesn't have enough fungals to actually deal with those Void Rays anymore. He used too many fungals up, and he's going to be forced to retreat because those Void Rays would go down below their shields, but they wouldn't die. And, I mean, the Colossus there as well. He's being forced back. Leenock is being put up against the ropes here, and he's only making Zerglings right now. He doesn't really have a ton of gas right now.
Yeah, Zerglings against the units of Seed are not going to be very effective. He's got so many Zealots in there, not to mention the Colossus. A few Corruptors are starting to be produced, as well as the Greater Spire. His Burrow movement is going to be done very soon as well. It's not going to be very useful, I don't think, in this fight, though. I like he's got 6 Queens here. Yeah, that's really, really nice. Allowing him to spread his creep forward, but also taking control of the Watchtower. I think Seed is going to hit an attack pretty soon. He actually just warped in some more Zealots. He's really Zealot heavy here. He's got to be very concerned about the possibility of Broodlord transitions. Yeah, he's got Void Rays out, but only 4 of them. And with the amount of Infestors out and potential Corruptors that can be out there, he just does not have the Stalker count, I feel, to necessarily deal with the Broods. It's tough to say, though, Moltrap, about this engagement. It's really tough to say a Roach counterattack is going to occur.
He does have 2 Stargates. If he sees Broodlords, he could get 4 Phoenixes in like 5 seconds. And, you know, he could try and transition out of that. Right now he's being aggressive. He can always fall back. But actually, a couple of counterattacks going on by Leenock. He's taking out the cannons. Seed is going to deal with it with reinforcements. He's not going home for this. And that Colossus pops out. It's like, sweet. It's a buffet. Zerglings. So he's going to be able to deal with that with the forces at home. But can Leenock stop this push?
I don't think he has enough support for his Broodlords and how many forces he sent out Moltrap. And here we go, the Broodlords being transfused here. The Queen attacking from the back even. I don't think he has enough though. Stalker's trying to blink around. The Roaches closing the distance.
There's almost nothing left to support the Colossus. There's out of force fields though. He's got Blink. He's trying to blink back the Stalkers. Roaches going in trying to pick off the Stalkers instead of the Colossus. And it looks like barely the tech units of Seed are going to survive, but maybe not for long. Some more Roaches are being rallied in here.
The upgrades really the tell of the day here, I feel, Moltrap, as well as the additional Queens. He will push this back. And the Colossus still survived, though. He does take one out. And that was actually a fairly even trade, almost as even as it gets in StarCraft 2. So the Colossi will be targeted down. He needs to micro them back. Doesn't need to stutter step, needs to get out of there. He loses them.
Yeah, he shouldn't have been attacking with those Colossus, I think. He should have just run them away, let the Stalkers finish off those few Roaches.
But look at the supply, 105 to 127, and he's continuing to rally units in here. He's got a strong force. Right now, Leenock does not have that solid army that he needs. With good Blink Stalker micro here, this game is definitely not over. In fact, I'd say it's in Seed's hands right now. More Stalkers warping in Moltrap. These Corruptors aren't very useful right now.
No, this is looking really dire for Leenock. He almost won Codes not that long ago, but he's on the verge of being put into the up and down matches. Well, not the verge, I guess. It's only the first game. I apologize, but he is going to lose the first game, it looks like.
Yeah, absolutely.
Seed switching into pure Stalkers, blinking in for the kill. Those Broodlords will never hatch.
No, they will not. And in fact, he doesn't even cancel. The last Roach is falling here. The supply now not in Leenock's favor, but in Seed's favor. Good Blink Stalker micro. The unit's dying as they hatch for way too long, and Seed has taken complete control of this game. I cannot see him losing this one now.
No, Leenock has 4 bases, but he's lost a lot of drones. He doesn't have the economy to actually do this. I think we're going to see GG any second now.
The Illusion Protoss. Seed takes Leenock out in game 1. A very crucial game for Seed here.
Wow. Very nicely played by Seed.
Very well played. I mean, he was
all over the place.
He actually was just so good at, he had like a 3-step plan and he executed it. He was always scouting his opponent. He didn't do any real sneaky illusion type stuff actually. No. He just played a straight up game where he did go for a weird Void Ray time, but that didn't even work. But it scared Leenock in some ways, and also, I mean, it meant that he could deal with the Broodlords. I did not expect that engagement to go as well as it did. I feel if the Roaches were not counterattacking at that moment, he actually would have crushed Seed's army and the game would have gone a lot differently after that.
That's actually a really good point. The counterattack was a kind of a smart idea.
It was just the wrong place at the wrong time type of thing.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way he could have known that the counterattack was not a good idea, because usually that will be a good idea to try and just hold on with your reinforcements and counterattack at the same time. But I don't think he expected his counterattack to do so little damage. I mean, he killed like a cannon and a couple Stalkers, but he didn't stop that main force. You're right. That
he was not microing his counterattack very well, whereas the forces, of course, for Seed were being really well microed.
Yeah. But yeah, I really liked how Seed, he went with the 3-gate expansion, kind of made sure Leenock didn't know what was going on and had to play a little defensively.
Yeah.
And then switched into the mass air, and then switched into the mass Colossus, and kept his Void Rays alive, crucially. He didn't just throw them away trying to kill off a Queen.
Yeah, he did a great job with his unit control. The only thing I would say is the Phoenix control was a little bit weird, but that was the only part I found of this gameplay that was something I really could criticize him for. I mean, he looked so solid in every other way. He even knew when to add the Stalkers, and he was very Zealot heavy for a lot of that game, but it ended up being okay for him. Now, this is going to be the toughest map in this best of 3 for Seed. Can he take out Leenock on Crossfire and secure a Code S spot, or will Leenock take the Zerg favored map here at the GSL Code A with Moltrap and Wolf?